Hi, I'm Bob Johnson from Bob Johnson's Computer Stuff. If you're looking for a Toughbook rugged laptop community for tips, tricks, and more information, don't forget to watch our videos. And when you do, hit that like button, as well as the subscribe button and that bell button so we can notify you on any newer upcoming videos. Hi, welcome to this week's edition of the Rugged Rundown. And today, guys, if you remember last week, we talked about the Emdoor's EMQ16 model tablet. This week, I'm going to compare it and just give you some ideas about how it looks versus, say, the Getac F110 or the Panasonic Toughpad FZ-G1. So I guess the first thing that you might see that comes up is the size. A comparable size would be the FZ-G1. Now you notice it's about the same width and height. So the screen is about the same size. And if we look at it and we feel the comparison on weight, I will tell you that this one the Emdoor is slightly heavier than your FZ-G1. At least it was while I lifted it right there. And then if we look at the F110, which has the bigger screen, it is a lighter tablet, even though it's bigger, than this Emdoor. This one is also lighter than the Toughpad as well. Now, the one thing I will tell you about this that I really like about this tablet is the back. The back is actual metal, which, in my belief, I believe that this is what adds to its weight, is the metal parts that are in this unit. That's not a bad thing. You want that metal in your tablet for a ruggedized unit. Whereas the Getac, if we turn it over, it's all plastic. This is metal, this is plastic. If we look at the FZ-G1, you turn it over, it's their titanium alloy that they use for casing. I think actual metal this one just feels more substantial than these two on the backing. The other comparison is the rubber bumpers. If you note right here, my FZ-G1, unfortunately, the rubber bumpers have been taken off. I just grabbed this off our bench to give you an idea of size. But the rubber bumpers on here they're not really removable. It looks like one solid piece that goes around, whereas on the F110, the bumpers here are removable and replaceable. Now, as far as ports are concerned, the USB, HDMI, your audio jack are right there on the F110. And if we look over here, but that's the jacks that we have on the F110. If we look at the Emdoor's tablet, man, they've got the HDMI with the audio jack here. They got the USB ports over here. In fact, they have two. And if we look right here, here's the Ethernet connection. And on this other side, they've included the 9-pin serial port. That legacy port is very important for some of you ham radio operators or auto mechanics. So those are some positive things whenever we compare to all these three items. The only downside is if you're carrying this thing around a lot, you're going to want to get that X strap because it is slightly heavier than your F110 or your FZ-G1. Do I like the tablet? I mean, I like it setting here. The problem is they don't have a big following here in the United States, so getting replacement parts might be difficult. You also, if you're going to mount this in your vehicle, what kind of docking stations, we would have to special order the docking station out of China to bring them in. There's no local docking stations that are in the United States that I'm aware of. I might be wrong, but for now I'm not aware of any. Overall, I give this a decent rating. The negative part on this particular tablet, like I said last week, is the daylight readable screen is very low. It's at 400 nit on the lower resolution and higher resolution, or you can pick up a 750 nit with the lower resolution screen. Not the greatest daylight readable screen that's out there. I mean, the F110 has a much better nit rating, as does the FZ-G1. So if you're using this in the daylight, you're going to have a problem. This is the strap that comes with it. They carry it around, and I wasn't impressed with the stylus that came with it. It's just simply a metal pen device that clicks back and forth with the rubber thing over here in order so you can touch the screen. You get into the F110 and the FZ-G1, you have glove touch ready screens. You don't need, this is just a standard touch. Those are my observations on this unit as compared to the others. I encourage you guys to, if you have any experience with this particular model, which I don't know very many people that have it, but if you run into, if you have some experience with this, please leave comments down below. I'd love to hear them. Other than that, guys, I'll see you next week.